Meanwhile, Australia's outbound travel plan hailed one of the strictest coronavirus public health measures in the world as it passes its 5-month mark. Joining us tonight is one of our correspondents from Australia, Marvy Delphine, to tell us why. Live. Marvy?
Australia appears to be the only democracy in the world that has banned its citizens and residents from leaving the country as a public health measure during the coronavirus pandemic. This Commonwealth country has been compared to countries such as its neighbor New Zealand and also to the United Kingdom and the United States that have only advised their citizens and residents against traveling overseas. The enforcement of an international travel ban since March 25 this year, when Prime Minister Scott Morrison shut down Australia's borders to outbound travelers, has resulted in only about a third of requests by Australians to leave the country as successful. The difficulty of citizens and residents to get the green light for outbound travel comes from the set of strict exemption criteria that are needed to be met. To avoid facing rejection at the airports, Australians are required to apply online for a travel exemption from the Australian Border Force, or ABF. As of August 16, the ABF has received more than 104,780 travel exemption requests from Australian citizens and permanent residents. This statistics takes into account requests made by more than one person and also multiple requests from individual travelers. Of those, more than 34,370 people have been successful. This international travel ban, deemed uncontroversial by Prime Minister Scott Morrison, is expected to end on October 24, though it is likely to be extended as the federal government confirms taking a cautious approach in its fight against COVID-19. Finance Minister Matthias Cormann said that the government could not yet foresee the timetable by which international borders will be able to open. Elsie?
Marvy, you mentioned about criteria for being granted an exemption for outbound travel. Can you go over for us about some of these?
Elsie, the list for criteria can be found on the Border Force website. Currently, there are 6 reasons that would allow Australian citizens and permanent residents to seek permission to leave Australia. These are travel as part of the response to the COVID-19 outbreak, including provision of aid, travel that is essential for conducting critical industries and businesses, to receive urgent medical treatment not available in Australia, urgent and unavoidable personal business, compassionate or humanitarian grounds, and travel that is in the national interest. There are also travel exemptions for airline and maritime crew, New Zealanders with a special category subclass 444 visa, freight workers, and people traveling for government matters. Also, temporary visa holders are free to leave Australia at any time, but they are warned that if they decide to re-enter, it will be up to the Border Force Commissioner's call. Elsie?
Thank you very much, Marvy Delphine.